Well, I've had months to think about this day, but it doesn't make the moment any easier. There aren't many people in this business or any other business who get to do what they dreamed of doing as a kid at the very place they dreamed of doing it. I got to do both. I grew up in Miami when WTVJ was the only TV station in South Florida. I always wanted to be a reporter when I grew up and always wanted to work here. I read newspaper stories into a small tape recorder pretending to be Ralph Rennick. Rennick was the anchor and news director here for 36 years. When I was 16 and a student at Gables High, I talked radio station WFUN into letting me report by phone from the school's football games. What a trip that was. We were state and national champs my last 2 years at Gables, and back then high school football was big news. After I was actually reporting on the radio, I called Rennick and asked if I could meet with him for some advice on how to become a real reporter on TV. When we met in his office a few days later, the first thing he told me was not to major in broadcasting. He said he wanted well-rounded reporters who could write well, but who also knew something about government history and, most importantly, their own community. Rennick suggested that if I could meet those standards, he'd eventually take me on as an intern here. True to his word, 2 weeks after I graduated from the University of Florida, 41 years and 1 day ago today, on June 23rd, 1969, I walked into the station as an intern. On that first day, there was a deadly plane crash on Northwest 36th Street. I was way too green to actually cover the story, so I was assigned to shuttle film from the scene back to TVJ's film lab where it had to be processed before aired. Things have changed. The things I have learned, the stories I've covered, the people I've met, the friends I've made over the last 41 years have made me who I am today. Over the years, I've covered every beat, anchored every show, and interviewed thousands of people, from convicts to presidents. I've covered more disasters than I care to remember, from major plane crashes to major hurricanes. I've covered political conventions, huge business stories like the slow death of Eastern Airlines, once South Florida's biggest employer. Now, interspersed with all of that, I did new car reviews and features on my personal passion, classic cars. My favorite things? Anchoring this show for the last 20 years, and my consumer reports, of course, which have overlapped everything else I've done here through more than 4 decades. I hope that has been my biggest accomplishment, making a difference to you, helping you avoid frauds and scams and bad products, dirty restaurants and dangerous cars, and by pointing out all the great things out there and how to get the best deals on them. Through it all, you have been incredibly loyal. This station is 61 years old. I've had the privilege of working with every general manager but one, and every news director this station has had but one. Thank you for trusting me and for inviting me into your homes all these years. Thanks to those of you who've taken the time to call or email me when you saw something you didn't like, or did the same when you saw something that moved you or helped you in some way. You've kept me on my toes for a lot of years. And for the hundreds of you who've emailed or posted good wishes for me on Facebook since I announced my retirement, I am truly humbled. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Bonnie, for putting up with a husband who goes to sleep before the sun goes down and wakes up in the middle of the night. And I want to thank my TV wife for the last 8 years, Pam Giganti. Pam is the best co-anchor I have ever had. I can't begin to tell you how wonderful she is to work with and just to have as a friend. Pam and Ryan, Roxy, Trina, and Nathalie, they make waking up before 2 a.m. worth it. I love this job, always have. We have fun doing what we do together every single day. I won't be here tomorrow, but my colleagues will be. I invite you to tune in to NBC Miami tomorrow morning, just as you always have, to start your day. The people around me are the reason I've been here so long. Thank you so very much for watching all these years.